Hunt 'em Big with Steve Bartylla. Brought to you by
When I was younger, I'll be honest with you, by younger, I'm talking, geez, in my 30s, even early 40s. I really honestly did not care much for ladder stands. I really didn't care for ground blinds. I'll be brutally honest with you, My sweet spot was simply being up in an elevated tree stand 20 some odd feet off the ground with good back cover. That's where, when I was younger, that's what I see, that's hunting. The older I get, the more experience I get, the more I realize that that's not good. You want to match your stand to whatever the situation calls for, whichever one works best in those situations. And actually, the older I get, you know what, every once in a while my ankle, it just decides not to work. I don't know, I'll be walking down the stairs and ground blinds are safe, generally speaking. You know, climbing up in tree stands is a little bit more risk. Don't get me wrong, I climb up hundreds of trees every single year. But there's all sorts of reasons why a person wants to go ahead and hunt ground blinds or should have that availability to them. There's safety, versatility. Man, you can put these things virtually anywhere. You can go ahead and you can blend them in the woods. You can blend them in on the side of a field. You can set them right out in the middle of the field, especially if you're using bale blinds. Man, that's very effective. The only thing that you don't like about that is odor control, your wind direction, and the fact that oftentimes you got to sit there with your head on a swivel. But the point is there's tremendous versatility to ground blinds. And frankly, there's also a big advantage in odor control. You seal the backside. Hopefully the wind is blowing to the ground blind, away from the deer. Okay? You seal the backside windows. You go ahead and you pack dirt along the bottom of that blind where it makes contact with the earth. And is it perfectly sealed? No. But it's, again, a difference maker. There are disadvantages to this, but luckily we can overcome them. Noise factor. When I'm from here to the camera, away from a deer, or heck, I was up in Alberta, I'd set a ground blind the night before, the next morning I'm out there hunting. I've actually got a cow moose that stuck its head inside the ground blind no further away from here, and its breath is literally fogging my glasses as its snot hits my cheek, and well, it hit my hood. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is the coolest thing in the whole world, but man, could this ever turn south real fast if I spook it and it decides to get out of here and runs over me along with the blind as it gets all torn up. There are disadvantages, but we can minimize them. One is the noise. When you have that animal right there, simply shifting your feet can be plenty enough to alert that animal, oh, what the heck is that? So, position your chair. Looking like this out that way isn't the most comfortable in the world, but it sure is a heck of a lot less movement to get that shot than it is to be sitting like this and now turn around in the chair, grab the ball. Oh, by the way, have that weapon right off that knee, so all you got to do, grab it, boom. Positioning is a big deal, okay? Positioning your chair inside that blind, having a bare floor, beautiful. Next, wear black. Yeah, you can be seen a lot more when you're from here to the camera away from a deer and they're looking right at you. Unless you've sealed those backside windows on a blind that's black on the inside and you're sitting there wearing black with a ninja hood and the whole 9 yards. And gloves too, because man, do these things ever stand out when you're going like that. You wear the black gloves and everything, and what you end up doing is you disappear in the shadows. So yes, there are disadvantages to ground blind hunting, but luckily there's things that we can do to counteract it. You add it all up, And man, a person really is greatly benefited by having ground blinds being part of their hunting arsenal.
Final thoughts, brought to you by Huntworth.
There's all sorts of advantages to ground blinds. You've got safety, you've got versatility, you got odor control. Sure, there's some disadvantages. When you're from here to the camera away from a deer on ground level, you don't have the room for error that you do when you're 20 feet up in a tree. Okay, but if you go ahead and clear all the debris off the ground of the blind floor, pack it or around that inner skirting to make it so odor doesn't go through as well. Position the chair for the shot to begin with. Wear black, close those back windows, and you know what? That all adds up to make a big difference.